Hello friends, this is Ruth and welcome to my newest episode of Spectrum Farms Needleworks. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm glad to have you here and I hope you'll decide to stay, like, and subscribe. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. Welcome back to my messy sewing room. I have not recorded a FlossTube since I believe June when I came back from StitchCon. So I just wanted to hop on real quick, give you an update on what I've been doing, what I plan on doing, and then later this month I'll do a more in-depth video. If you're here for quilting, I'm not going to be talking quilting today. This episode will only be on cross stitch, but I will be recording a separate quilting video hopefully soon, because I've got 4 quilts I'm working on that I'm looking forward to sharing all the information with you. So if I look tired, it's because I am. I spent this past week in San Francisco on a work conference. So I am so glad to be home. It was a great learning experience, but there's nothing like being home. So let me jump right in to what I've been up to. So you may remember back in the month of June and prior, I was working on Pollinator Garden by the Nebby Needle. Pollinator Garden. And I've worked on it a little bit. Somehow I think my wings might not be right, even though I'm following the chart, and I do have a hanging thread and I have not ironed anything. So if that bothers you, I apologize in advance, but here's my progress on the bee. So you can see I'm right about in here with the wings. I decided to start with the bee. Let me pull that back up if you can see it. And I really like this. It's such a pleasure to stitch, and I am storing it in my project bag that I got from Goose on Etsy, and there's some floss in there. This is the back, but you'll see it's a bee themed, and this was made by Goose on Etsy. So that is my update on how far I've gotten on Pollinator Garden. And this is being stitched on 40 count fiber on a whim cream and sugar. So 40 count fiber on a whim cream and sugar. And I'll hold that back up. You can kind of see. So I'm really enjoying that. So the next one I've been working on is Grand Old Flag by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I got to work on her a little bit this past week, and it's wrinkled. I have not ironed anything. I'm not even sure where I have in my notes. Oh, here we are. So this is being stitched on 40 count Fox and Rabbit white clay. Warning, she is headless. So here's where I'm at with her. You can see I've started on the little spools. I've started some of the decorative stitching. This design right here, I changed to a Smyrna cross. And the flowers, I changed to eyelet stitches. So I apologize, she doesn't have a head, but she will. I did not have the called for perfect pie crust floss for her face, and I recently added that to my stash, and now I can start working on her head. So this was Grand Old Flag with Thy Needle and Thread from Brenda Gervais, and I'll show you the chart one more time. And I am using the called for colors. So she's coming along. She'll have a head soon. Oh goodness. Okay. So also in the month of June, I participated in a stitch along for Jeanette Douglas's The Chubby Bee. And the stitch along was with Jen from Christian Creations on Instagram. And this was the chart, Chubby Bee. You may recall this was gifted to me back at StitchCon. And I talk about that in my StitchCon recap video. And I had also purchased the chart. So I gifted the chart that I bought, kept the one that I was gifted, and I stitched Chubby Bee on 40 count Fox and Rabbit white clay. I really like this. And I did have it ironed, but I don't know what I did. It got a little wrinkled. Now when I show this to you, I will tell you that, so here's the chart. Here's my stitched piece. I still need to add my initials. And I changed a few things. I did use the called for DMC, but I did change some of the colors that I did not have. So mostly they're here in the flowers. These colors are a little different. So DMC 28 was changed to number 55. DMC had a blend of 801 and 3781, and I changed that to Gentle Arts Wood Trail. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I used everything else that was called for. And I'll hold these up once again. So I really had a lot of fun doing the stitch along with Jen. I got a little carried away and I finished before she did. But thanks, Jen, for the fun stitch along. And I look forward to doing another one together soon. So that was really in the month of June. In the month of July, I started Fractur Dove from 3 Sheep Studio. And I really debated about sharing this one today, but I'll go ahead and show you my progress. I have not gotten very far. This is, I have this is just a picture of the pattern. So that's what the end result will look like. That's the pattern picture. And I am using DMC 822. And I'm using 36 count Cyprium. If you recall, I had actually bought Cyprium for a different chart, but I didn't like it. But I really like it with this. So bear with me a second. This might be upside down. I don't know. Here is my small progress on that. And this fabric is actually darker than it's coming across on the camera. But that is Fractur Dove by 3 Sheep Studio. So I hope to get back to working on that one. So for the month of July, I actually went on an outing with some friends. I'm part of a Delaware Facebook group, Delaware Cross Stitch Facebook group. And several of us, I think there was about 6 of us, we got together, we met for breakfast at a restaurant, and then we traveled together down to Salty Yarns in Berlin, Maryland. And while I was there, I picked up some floss and I picked up some charts and just had a wonderful time with friends. And one of those friends I'd like to tell you about. Her name is Caitlin, and she has a new floss tube. And her floss tube is Stitch, Read, Repeat. Caitlin is a wonderful stitcher, beautiful, beautiful variety of projects, beautiful stitching. She's an avid reader, so she always provides book recommendations. And she's just so sweet and kind, and I really encourage you to please go check out her floss tube, Stitch, Read, Repeat. She has 3 episodes for you to enjoy, and she's just a delight. So please go show her some love, as Pam would say from Just Keep Stitching, and support her new FlossTube channel. I almost said Facebook. But one of the things I got was Flower Garden Sampler. And I started this last week while I was in San Francisco. And I only had a small hoop with me, so I had to stop working on it because I really needed something larger. And I don't stitch in hand, but this is my progress. So I got the bird's nest done. And I started, so you can kind of see where I'm at. I'm starting on the inner line, and I have the bird's nest done. Really nice stitch. I'm really enjoying this. And this, I think I'm doing it on the called for, which is Fiber on a Whim, Milk and Honey, but I believe I'm doing it on 40 count, I think. Bear with me just a second and I will check my notes. Maybe. Yeah, here it is. So, oh no, it's 36 count. I am doing this on 36 count. Fiber on a Whim, milk and honey. And I'll hold this up so you can see it. Okay. This is really nice fabric. I would definitely stitch something on this again. So that was Flower Garden Sampler. Okay. Now, also, while we were on our trip down to Salty Yarns, on the way back, we stopped at an antique shop that also has consignment booths in it. And I saved some stitches. And I purchased this table runner. Beautiful laced edges. Isn't that gorgeous? So I saved the stitches. And it's a long table runner, so right now I have it folded over. Probably can't see the whole thing, but it's the same on both ends. So it's absolutely lovely. It's a little sheer. So I'm looking forward to when I clean up and rearrange some things in my sewing room, this will be displayed. I haven't measured it, but it was only $18. How could I not save the stitching? It's just beautiful. Let me show it to you one more time. I don't know the age of it, so maybe if you recognize the design or maybe the age, maybe you could tell me something about it. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous blue. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. It was such a thrill to find it and to be able to add it to my sewing room. So also in the month of July, I have now deemed that it is tomato season. And I'm going to show you why. So, I've been very busy. I purchased October House's Tomato Row. This was such a fun little stitch. I took it with me to San Francisco and I finished it. Let me grab something else that's a little, well, I'll just put the chart behind it. And this is on a little scrap piece that I purchased at Salty Yarns. And it is Fox and Rabbit Duxbury, I guess that's the name of it. So it's 40 count. And I liked it because it kind of looks like dirt. Like the tomatoes were actually growing in the dirt. This is my finish. It's not fully finished, but this is my finish. You can see the really cool coloring in the fabric, in the linen. And I haven't decided how I'm going to finish this yet. I don't know if I'm going to put some type of tomato fabric on the back or some type of red or ticking fabric. But the finished size, if I finish it the way it's called for, the finished size is 6 3/4 by 1 5/8. So it's not very big at all. It'll be long and narrow. Let me see if I can put these side by side. I did use the called for, but I did make a couple of changes. So here it is. Ah! Okay. So there they are together. Sort of. Maybe. Okay. Sort of. I give up. Okay. But what I changed was the third tomato from this end. I changed the stitching to eyelets. If you can see that, that center one right there. Because I thought when I looked at it, it's this one right here. Even though it's not eyelets, it really looked like eyelets to me, and I thought, wow, that would be a great one. So let me try and fold this another way. Maybe you can see the eyelets. So I was excited to add those. So that was Tomato Row. a skinny mini pattern by October House Fiber Arts. The called for is a 36 count, but I stitched it on a 40 count Foxy Rabbit. So it's also tomato season. I was hoping to have some of these stitched to show you, but I didn't get them done. I think it was Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter. They had talked about a designer that they found on Etsy who's based out of Hungary. And the name is Rosa Design, and you'll find her on Etsy. And I purchased her Tomato Girl chart. I was hoping to have this stitch to show you because it's tomato season, but I haven't been able to start it yet. But this is the chart. Tomato Girl. Absolutely love this. Tomato Girl. Rosa. So I have the floss now, so I'm looking forward to getting that one started. But also, Rosa has Tomato Garden, which I'm also looking forward to stitching. Tomato Garden. Oh, I just love these. And then on her Etsy, they're all PDFs. They're PDF downloads. And what's nice is she adds your name to the PDF. So for example, I can't show you I can show you a very bottom. The very bottom of this chart, she put who it's sold to, which I think is a wonderful addition, and it protects the integrity of the chart. But it also shows that, yes, I purchased this PDF, so I thought that was just fantastic. So I purchased some others of hers that are not tomato related, but I want to show them to you. One is Yellow Spring. Isn't that cute? Look at that little face on that sheep. So that is Yellow Spring. And I will I'll try to link to her Etsy. But if I'm not able to, it is the Rosa Design. I purchased Blue Spring. Blue Spring. Isn't that sweet? I originally started getting some of these because I like when Laura talked about she's stitching ladies. Like she may do pillows that are all just individual ladies, and I really liked that. And so some of these I thought, well, I could do that and I could do these ladies, but I like these charts so much that I think I'm just going to stitch the whole thing. The other one I purchased is Feed the Birds. Feed the Birds. And I have these tabbed because since they're all PDFs, I printed off my PDFs, I put them in a little page sleeve, and I have them in a 3-ring binder that's dedicated just to the Rosa Design. But this is Feed the Birds. And let's see, I think I have a few more. Yep. I have My Little Hen. And this is really pretty. I'm looking forward to stitching this. And it looks like a lot of these are the Weeks Dye Works is the called for floss. Some Gentle Arts thrown in there, but you could use whatever you want. So this is My Little Hen. You can see that. Then I also bought Polly Brown Christmas Eve. So this will be a nice Christmas one to have on hand for Christmas or a Christmas start. So that's Polly Brown Christmas Eve. And since these are PDFs, I didn't take them out of the sleeve protector. And I am in a room where I face 2 sliding glass doors. And so the rain has gone, the sun's starting to come in, so we might start to get some glare. So I showed you Tomato Girl, Tomato Garden, and Yellow Spring. So those are the ones that I purchased from the Rosa Design on Etsy. And you're going to hear a click for the binder. It's just a thin little binder that I have them in. So really excited to get started on those. But also tomato season. You may have seen on my Etsy that I have started making tomato pincushions, and they're big, and I am just in love with them. I did add to the bottom a button that says it was handmade by me with love, and then I sign it with a Sharpie pen and I date it. And I am using crushed walnuts to fill them. Now the pattern I got from birdbraindesigns.net, and I did get my wool felt from them as well. But I also changed the pattern. The pattern calls for a corded loop, and I added a button, and then I made a stem, and it's a bendable stem. It's wired, and then I found little ladybugs to put on the leaves, on the tomato leaves. And they're huge. So when I set it down on my mat, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's about 5 inches across. 1, 2, 3, about 5.5, 6 inches width to the top of the stem. So they're heavy, they're huge. And I've stitched these, if you look on my Instagram, the red one I've done in a bright red like this one. I've done in a dark red, and then I've also changed the pearl cotton to a green, and I've changed the leaves to a lighter green. But I love these. I've been asked if I would make them and sell them, and I will, and I would. If you're interested, you can let me know. The similar ones that other people make and sell for $40. So I would probably charge the same if I was to sell them. So far I've made them and give them as gifts, and the recipients have liked them. I will be gifting one to the Fiber Arts Center in Denton, Maryland for their classroom. I was there yesterday picking up my quilt that was on display there, and they have just 2 small little pincushions, so I thought I would donate one to them, and I might sell them through the Fiber Arts Center. We don't know yet. We'll see if there's an interest. But along with this bright red one, I also made a green one, and I used the same dark green, but I used a lighter button, and I've changed out some of the button sizes. There was one that I made yesterday. I may have to go get it. And it's got a larger button in the center. And this is the green. I love the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, so had to have a big green tomato. And again, the button on the bottom. So these are the ones that I kept. This was actually my first one, so it was my trial and error. And then this one followed. So you can kind of see I've tightened up the pattern a little bit, but they're very solid. And I get the crushed walnuts from a local supply store. I had bought the crushed walnuts at my local quilt store. I've bought it off of Amazon, but I found a local supplier that has a better price for a very large bag, so that's where I'm buying that at. So these are my 2 tomatoes for tomato season. If you want one and you're interested in purchasing one, send me an email to spectrumfarmsneedleworks@gmail.com. Oop, I apologize for the barking. And let me know or leave me a comment. But if you're interested in making your own, go to birdbraindesigns.net and check out what they have to offer. Also from Birdbrain, I don't have it in front of me, is I bought everything to make a pumpkin, so I'm also going to start making pumpkins, which I'm really excited about. So those are pincushions. And I also have a large strawberry pattern that I'm going to make a large strawberry pincushion. But I think for the strawberry, I'm going to use emery. And I do have emery that I purchased, I believe, off of Amazon. So when I get that made, I will show it to you. But keeping, not with tomato season, but with pincushions, because I'm really into pincushions right now. I had previously told you about, I think I did, Hands-On Design Harvest Hexies. I was able to get this off the secondary market. This is not available anymore, but there are other pincushions that Hands-On Design has that I know I've shown before. I think it was this current Nashville Needlework Market. She had another, you know what? Hold that thought. I'll go get it. Okay. Thanks for waiting. So this is the newer released one. So you can see how it's similar, the hexagon design. Okay, this one features scissors. This one is a vintage stitch 2 Hexie, T-O-O. And I will be working on this. And I even found on a Canadian embroidery site, I found some scissors to go with it. So if you're interested in doing a hexagon pin cushion, check this one out from Hands On Design. I'll be making this one next. But for this one, this I purchased on the secondary market as a kit. And the kit came with this blue. It came with the floss. But I didn't use everything that came in the kit. I actually think I buried it, so I won't show you the kit. Because I changed a few things. So for this pin cushion, my daughter's favorite color is orange. So I made an orange pin cushion to go with the pumpkins. I put the house on the top. And I put those pumpkins on the bottom. Now for this hexagon, I ran out of the called for, so I substituted a different color that was, you really can't tell, maybe. So the top one that the pumpkins are on is a little lighter than this darker one. Let me check my notes. When I refer to my notes, I'm using this, as I showed you before. And let's see if I put it in here. So I used 32 count flax linen from Weeks Dye Work for my hexagon, 32 count. I used the provided floss from the kit, but I added parchment and endive. So where I added parchment is, so let's see, in the original, you see those little blue accent stars. I'm going to call them stars. Okay, those little blue ones. On mine, I did them in parchment. You can see them there. Okay, so I changed that. And then I used endive. Not sure why, where I used endive. I don't know. Let me see if I can grab. Okay, so the chart, you're going to hear some crinkling. Okay, so the kit came with charcoal, daylily, glacial melt, grasshopper, island breeze, lichen, and persimmon. So it came with those. This one I ran out of. So I ran out of charcoal. Okay. So down here is where I ran out of charcoal, and I just substituted something that I had. But I didn't write it down. I apologize. But then I did change those. I almost didn't stitch them, but then I liked them. And then I think I added the endive to the embroidery work that goes around there. So where this shows the blue French knots, I replaced it with parchment. But I pretty much used everything else. And I filled it with crushed walnuts. So it's a little squishy. There's my finished. Absolutely love this. I think I've told you before, I live in a blue house. So this was one of my unicorn charts that I am so excited to have. And then I had some orange fabric from a quilt that I added to the back because I thought they kind of resembled pumpkins in a row. So you can see it's not stuffed. It moves around. It's squishy. I like it. I can stand it up if I want. I can lay it down if I want. I did stuff the corners, you know, with some stuffing, fiber fill, polyfill. I don't think it was polyester fill. I think it was the cotton fiber fill. But I am so excited with this. And my daughter likes it because it's orange. Isn't that awesome? Oh, I'm so excited to have this. So now I'm looking forward to stitching this one. So this was the kit. It came with everything, the interfacing, but I didn't use it. I'll save that for something else. But I'm excited to have that. And I really think that's it for this episode. I just haven't been on in a while, since June. Wasn't my intent. In June, I had planned on doing a FlossTube separate from the StitchCon recap. That didn't happen. July, I was going to do a 4th of July stitching because I have a lot of 4th of July charts. And I had seen someone's FlossTube where they showed all of their charts. So it was like a chart parade. I thought about doing that. That didn't happen. But I did get some stitching done. I was fortunate to have a wonderful trip out with friends down to Salty Yarns. I went on a work business trip, and here we are in August. So I apologize that I haven't been here in a while, but I am looking forward to recording my next FlossTube. I had some notes, but they're buried. I think for my next FlossTube, August is a big month. Oh, that was another thing. My son, who is serving in the military, came home in July, so I also got to travel to where he is stationed out of and see him. And my 2 youngest grandsons both had birthdays, so June and July have been very busy. But so let's see, for August, the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild is sent out, if you signed up for the chart. Now I can't find anything. For our September meeting, let me back up for a second. For our September meeting, it's an in-person meeting. We do hybrid. Several meetings out of the month are virtual, and then we do like 6 out of the year that are, I think I said month, out of the year, are in-person. But there's still a hybrid option for even for the in-person. So if you can't be here in person, you can still watch it and participate virtually. So we are doing the Teresa's Primitive Treasures Fall, Sheep, and Pin Keep for our September meeting. And I just received in the mail, here's the envelope, our pre-stitch for that. And I will insert a photo. I'll try to insert a photo to what the chart looks like. So I'll be working on that because it's some pre-stitching that I need to do for our September meeting. I'm planning on a birthday start. I'm planning on an anniversary start because it's my birthday this month. It's my wedding anniversary this month. And later this month, it's also my 1-year FlossTube-versary, my anniversary of being on FlossTube. And Mr. Theo says hello. Yes, it's almost lunchtime. So I will be doing another video later this month. I will be putting together a quilting video. So for you quilters, thank you for hanging in there with me. I have 4 wonderful quilts I'm going to show you. One of them is a quilt along with 2 other FlossTubers who have I don't know if they're calling it a QAL, a quilt along. Anyway, I will tell you all about that in another video. So for now, thank you for being here with me. Again, I'm Ruth. This is Spectrum Farms Needleworks. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It is Sunday. I didn't even tell you what day it is. Today, right now, it is Sunday, August 4th. I don't even know what day it is. I think I'm still jet lagged from flying from the West Coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast, and the West Coast all the way back to the East Coast. But anyway, thanks so much, friends, for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care and happy stitching.